basically, I think if you're gonna have your Airbnb business, you need to understand your niche and what it is within that business you're going to be doing, and create a strategy around that that's very, very clear.
Welcome to Live, Let Thrive, a podcast about the Airbnb life, the share economy, and everything in between. Here are your hosts, Myka and Steve.
Hello, 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 and welcome back to another exciting episode of Live, Let Thrive. This is episode 55, and again, it's a solo ep. Myka couldn't join us, but I will try my best to bring the Airbnb and share economy goodness to y'all. So, we are in episode 55, and I have a special guest for y'all. Her name is Rachel Prince, and she's from Indianapolis. Give it up for Rachel. Hi, Rach.
Whoop, whoop. Hey, thanks.
Can I call you
Okay,
Rach, or does it have to be Rachel?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's very sweet. Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm kind of sweet. Anyways, okay, this is gonna be a fun episode, and this is the first time.
Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I mean, it better be, right?
It will.
Very confident, Rachel Prince over there, and
Well, I know you and I have chit-chatted before, so I know we can make this happen. We can make magic happen.
Yeah, we'll make something out of this, I'm sure. This is the first time. It's pretty cool. A first time a guest has given me like a title to do the show, and it's a really cool title. And she's a really smart gal. So I'll go ahead and read the. Do you want me to read the title, or did you want to read the title?
Read it.
Okay.
Yeah, read it.
See if I can read my handwriting. Okay, episode 55 is going to be about the top 5 tips to scale an Airbnb biz. You put biz there. In under 6 months. That's really awesome, because I'd like to scale mine in under 6 months, big time.
Well, good. You can be my little test pilot for this and see if I'm on track with my tips.
Awesome. I'm glad you didn't say guinea pig. I'm working on it. Yeah, this is cool, and we are going to get to those tips, but real quickly, I'd like you maybe introduce yourself a little bit. Tell the audience a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where are you from? How'd you get into this whole Airbnb game?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I'm slightly embarrassed that I came up with the title for my own interview, but first and foremost, let's just call it open here. I have my own podcast, so that's kind of what I do. So
oh yeah, I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's cool. It's the Airbnb Entrepreneur, and recently changed the name from Airbnb House Hacking. Kind of evolved it, and it is the Airbnb Entrepreneur. I've got about almost 20 episodes. And so I'm a little further behind than you guys, and Jasper. But other than that, bringing it up slowly in the rear. It's kind of like the Kentucky Derby, but yeah, of course.
Just like that, right?
Just like the one that lost, yeah.
It was muddy. So
yeah, I'm here in Indy, and I was actually just updating my website and looking at some of the old footage from a thing we did on TV last year, and I had just moved out to Indianapolis from Denver. I'm from Denver, Colorado, and I had just moved to Indy. Just got a news feature for something I was doing with Airbnb, the Host Open home tour, and I remember commenting on, or I watched myself commenting on in the interview that said Indianapolis, where we are here. And it was just funny because everybody calls it Indy who's local, but I didn't know that at the time. So I was kind of new to saying Indy. And so it just kind of seemed a little uncomfortable. But now I easily call it Indy, which, short for Indianapolis. And I'm really loving it out here. And, came out here last year, just needed a change, and got my real estate life up and going, got my real estate license, and started launching the business right away. It just kind of took off. And, Denver, it was a little bit staler, I'd say, just because the real estate market is a little bit more tapped out. And it's not fun for investors to buy Airbnb homes. The formula doesn't work as well. and the legislation was really strict for primary residents. So they couldn't just buy a house and Airbnb it like they can out here right now. So,
right.
Yeah, that's basically, I came out here and grew my business in under a year, and now I have over 12 properties that I manage and work with investors from all over the country. And some live in New York and Chicago and California, and so I work with them, and I work to acquire properties, Airbnb properties, and I have a team that's growing. I have an assistant galore, and her name's Alexa, and every time I say her name, my Alexa at home gets she lights up. She's doing it right now. She's talking right now.
They're spying on us.
I remember to call my assistant Alexa. But yeah, Alexa just got her real estate license, so now we're going to grow the real estate team and the business model. So my whole business model is based upon Airbnb real estate investing, as opposed to just property management. There's no way in this life would I just want to do property management. That is, as you may well know, it's grueling. It is not for the faint at heart. And so that is kind of why I decided to do that as a title, the topic today, is because I realized that this takes a lot of grit and perseverance. And so I wanted to kind of share with other people some of my successes.
That sounds awesome. That's cool. You're getting into more of the investing side. Yeah, the property management. Yeah, that's I have one house, and it's enough of a beat down. But yeah, that's pretty cool. And you're growing your team. And you mind asking how old? If I could ask how old you are.
Oh, how old am I? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Yes, I am in my fourth decade. I'm 42.
42. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah. I couldn't tell from the
bloomer,
picture.
as they say.
Yeah, you look like in your 20s
you.
in your picture.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm 40 myself.
And
yeah.
that pic, you're 40. Okay, great. Mm-hmm. 40 and a dad. So.
And a dad.
Good
yes.
for you.
But so that's cool. So did you try out real estate over there in Denver?
Yes, as I was kind of alluding to, the real estate market out there just wasn't as fun to play with. The market was just blowing up out there. It had already blown up, and so it wasn't very fun for investors, and it was stressful for buyers, and so it just, and then the legislation was so harsh, or I should say it was the primary residence legislation, so only homeowners that, lived in their house in some areas and that or owned their home as their primary residence could Airbnb it. And so it kind of just crushed the market. People were being back taxed. It was just ugly for a while. So, and the real estate market was nice if you had listings. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, and so you chose Indy. And why did you choose Indy?
That's a really good question. A lot of people ask me that, and one of the major reasons is because I went to a meetup one time and realized it was like some real estate. It was some real estate workshop, and I was like, yeah, this sounds interesting. I like what they're talking about. So I decided to go, and it turned out to be a fortune builders 3-day workshop, and just loved it. And it's kind of inspirational. They do a lot of inspirational talk, like, why aren't you doing something with your life now? Very Tony Robbins, and do it, change now. And so I was just kind of at a point where I was like, change. And then all of a sudden they had talked about Indianapolis in there. They had bought a couple houses for like $80,000, and I was like, $80,000 you bought a house for? That's crazy. I'm selling houses for $564,000,
Goodness.
So I was like, that's ridiculous. So I got to check that out. So I went online, checked it out, had a friend who wanted to move out here also. So we just packed up, came out, and I've been here ever since. And so I kind of equate it to Dan Merrill. Thank you, Dan. And their work that they do. And so they're very inspirational fortune builders. I loved it.
So you got to Indy and right away you bought a house or what?
Yeah, right away, bought a house in Garfield Park and just south of downtown. So it was actually, interestingly enough, kind of like the same style of house and same distance from a house that I had in Denver from downtown Denver. And I figured if I could make that type of money, a mile away from downtown Denver in Denver, then I could probably do the same with Indianapolis. And I think I'm a little further than a mile anyway. And it turned out that, when I first got here, I just rented the bleep out of my place. And sometimes I left, and sometimes I just had someone stay in a room. I think I made, $1,700 in a last year sometime. And I was like, woohoo, okay, that's good. That was like when I pushed the market on my house. But, my house is not that big, so I decided I just didn't want to be doing it anymore in my own home. And I just picked up a few really good clients, and then it just kind of got some more clients, and I just took off from there. I had one client buy like 3 properties for me right in a row. So yeah, it was just, it's been good out here. Quite different from Denver.
Yeah. How big was the house that you bought?
The house that I bought is probably just like 1,500 square feet.
Okay. And is that still your primary residence?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
And
I'm just about to build. I'm just about to build a unit in the back, like a grandma house, an ADU, accessory dwelling unit. So we'll
that's
see.
Awesome. I would love.
We'll
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I think it's I feel like if you don't want to buy another property, that is the next best thing to do to generate more cash flow quickly. Because, you can have a rental in the back, or if you have, a walkout basement or something like that with your house or duplex, then, that's the next best thing, because you don't have to have someone in your space, but you can have someone, renting out one of those units. And so it's a nice way to make a little extra income. If anything ever happens to any of your clients or whatever, you have that to fall back on. So I see it as kind of an investment and also a backup plan.
Yeah, and I think it's a good idea, especially because, right now, I mean, it's beginning to be, I can't even talk. There's more strict legislation coming down the pipes in a lot of cities, and Arlington, where I live, is one of them. But the one thing that I do see that even with the strict legislation is they still allow you to do it out of your house, to do Airbnb out of your house. So if you do have like the grandma or the mother-in-law suite or whatever they call it, you can still continue doing your Airbnb thing,
Absolutely. Yeah, that is generally what happens. So that's exactly right. That's what happened. Yeah, for the people that had carriage houses in Denver, they were just really happy. Some of them had put a lot of money into them and made them really nice. So they were just really, really kind of like the Airbnb plus. So yeah, lucky them.
So were you going from a real liberal climate over there in Denver to like a real conservative Midwest climate in Indianapolis?
Are you talking about the weather, Stephen?
I'm talking about the people. A lot of.
I love the people out here. I think that's one of the things I noted that when I first arrived is the people are really sweet and still Midwest, and I think that I really appreciated that. I really missed out on that in Denver because we had been so tainted, if you will, by the influx and quick influx of all those people. It was just what happened in Denver with just everybody moving from California and all over the country, and then with the cannabis and weed, making that legal, it was crazy. I remember the drive downtown from where I lived used to take 10 minutes, and then it was becoming like 20 minutes to a half hour every day. It was ridiculous. So personally, I couldn't take it. And then all the different personas and things. I think the people out here suit me personally a lot better, or I feel like I just like what's out here with the personalities of the locals, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it just vibes with me. I like this is very neighborhood based. So each neighborhood, there's tons of little neighborhoods that really just are so connected, and they do all these really, you're vibrating, Stephen. They do all these really cool things. You know, they have
okay, let me put some context to that, because it's not picking it up on the mic, but my phone was vibrating. That's what she was referring to.
Oh yeah, you're vibrating, Stephen.
Just
you're
out of nowhere.
radiating. I can hear your phone.
Needed a little context
yeah.
there.
But anyway, so it was, yeah, sorry, I was a little distracted. Plus my dog is kind of getting a little antsy. So anyway, the neighborhoods are, they are super, super cute here. Super cute neighborhoods. A lot of old historic homes that some have been renovated. And so I just adore what some of the neighborhoods are doing. Wonderful organization by the associations. They have wonderful street fairs. A lot of influence and influx of music from Nashville. And yeah, just a lot of folky stuff, a lot of hipsters, at least the downtown area where I'm in. So yeah, it's this really sweet place, and it's just getting crazier. A lot of people rent my Airbnbs that say, you know, oh, we're from California and we're just moving and we're looking at places and we're deciding if we want to be in Indy or Cincinnati and things like that. So I'm just like, oh my God, it's starting here. In the next 5 years, it's going to be like Denver. It'll be over. I'll have to move somewhere else and start over.
Don't be Californicating Indy, y'all.
Yeah, y'all.
Oh, I guess y'all don't say y'all in Indianapolis.
Actually, I say, well, no, it's funny. We say it in, we say it in Denver. I do anyway. But what I've noticed is people don't say howdy out here. So being called a native myself, you know, growing up with horses, and friends have horses and ranches and stuff, going into small towns, and, you know, you say howdy, and, well, at least I did. And I would go into stores here. I still say it, and it cracks myself up. I say howdy, and people just are like, hi. You know, it's like, so, like, they don't get it. So I think it's funny.
So you don't miss the Rocky Mountain High then, do you?
Well, I would say if we're talking about altitude now, Stephen, yes, I do.
You keep berating
yes,
me. What am I doing?
Well, because I don't know if you mean you're talking about cannabis. You know, high cannabis, get high. Like, I don't know if that was a reference or not.
Yeah.
Oh,
I see what you did
legal
there.
in Colorado. Yeah. So do I miss that? No, but I do miss the Rockies. I do miss the hot springs, and I still have family and friends there, so I will take another trip back soon.
Awesome.
Yep.
Let's see if the guests are paying the guests. I use the word guests too much because of Airbnb, but let's see. Everybody's a guest.
That's a good one, yeah.
Or huésped in Espanol, huésped. So the tip number one, throw it out there. Keep our audience alive. Keep them. Okay, are they listening? Boom. Okay, get your pen out, because we're gonna give these tips out throughout the show. So here's tip number one.
We're moving into the top 5.
Well, let's drop one tip, and then we'll go into a little more talky talk, and then we'll drop another tip. We just randomly throughout.
I like your style, Stephen. You know, it's different from my podcast. So you just gotta keep me. I'm here. You just gotta keep me posted. Okay, so. Right?
Yeah.
So you just want me to talk about my first tip, top 5 tips. This is the first tip to scale your biz, your Airbnb biz, in under 6 months. The first one is have a clear approach or a clear strategy for that approach. Or it could be both of them, right? You want the clear approach, clear intention. Set your intention and accomplish these intentions or these clear little goals that you have in baby steps. So I think the mind works better with little baby steps. It's like, I can go to the grocery store, I can pick up the mail, I can feed the dog, I can take the kids to school. But when you say go start a business in 6 months, it might not get there, right? That's not my theory. That's the theory that's out there amongst the the philosophical peeps that discuss goal setting and things like that. So, and how the mind works. But basically, I think if you're gonna have your Airbnb business, you need to understand your niche and what it is within that business you're going to be doing, and create a strategy around that that's very, very clear. You sound like you had a question for me.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to ask you real quick. So like a baby step, for example, you would tell somebody, don't just go spend all your money and buy a house and start doing it, right? Or start with a room, or start renting at your house and stay at a hotel for a weekend or something. I don't know.
Well, okay. Yeah, okay, that's good, because yes, I would say to them, write down or tell me what your strategy is. What is your strategy? And if it was to buy a house and rent it out on Airbnb and just manage that, that was what they wanted to focus on, was ultimately, scaling their Airbnb business by buying houses, then I would start by saying, okay, well, let's take the first one, and then we'll set a goal and we'll do the second one. But I think this also works if someone just wanted to manage properties. Like, let's just say you wanted to double your business, right? But you didn't, which would mean that you're going to manage another property, which doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to go out and buy another house, because that may not be your intention or your approach. But let's just say you do want to scale your business, but you just want to manage someone else's property. Maybe let's say you want to pick up 5 properties. Right. So we just need to be very clear about what your strategy is. You'd be surprised at how unclear people are when they start. They say, I want to get into Airbnb. Okay, well, what do you want to do? You want to do arbitrage. You want to buy houses. You want to buy a duplex, rent one side long-term, rent the other on Airbnb. Do you want to just buy investment properties? Do you want them to be all over the country? Do you just want one area? So,
right. Okay.
We just it's a very simple step, and I just wanted it to be bite-sized for people to understand. Just set your intention for what you're doing, what's your game plan, set a clear approach. I want to go manage 5 properties within 6 months and have them, manage other people's properties within 6 months. Or I want to go sublet 5 properties, by October.
Yeah, that's a good approach.
And you start with baby goals. Yeah.
Right, because it is a lot to bite off of if you're gonna go buy a whole house with you never Airbnb'd before, and all of a sudden I'm gonna do it, and then you might find out you don't like it, right?
Well, yeah, but even for you, you've done it, you kind of know, and so now you've got to say, well, what would be the easiest way for me to scale my business? That might be, for you to double your net worth, you could just buy another property. But now I would say to you, let's get everything in order for you to create the strategy around buying that next house. So you can be Airbnb-ing it by the time your goal is up.
That is great advice, because I listen to 1,000 podcasts, and they always say write down your goals, and that's something I never just get around to doing, the most simplest thing, and I just don't get around to doing it. And I can see myself getting on the treadmill a little bit,
Yeah, well, you're not the only one. So yeah, I think we have to be disciplined to take this first step, and it's in my online course. It's one of the first ones. It's actually the first 2 of my tips are in the beginning of my course. But we really have to start off on a good foot. Like this is going to be a big step for us, and so we need a strong foundation. So in order to do that, like a builder doesn't just build a house or a building without an architectural plan.
That's
so
true.
we need to map it out first. And then somewhere along the line, someone had the dream, like Trump. You know, he's like, I want to build a Trump hotel or whatever. He had that vision in his head, and the guy did it. So just like, you know, that's probably not a good analogy for people ever, but
getting political all of a sudden.
But I'm saying people who, yeah, right. It's like if you want to do something, you have to plant. In yoga we call it bija, seed, and plant the seed. The seed comes from somewhere. You have the idea, you have the dream, and now just create the baby steps and to get to that end goal. So you got your dream right there, and then you just break it down. What are some baby steps I can take to get there? And you know, a clear approach. If you start going off in all directions, you know, you got to back up again. You've done something wrong. You just pick one thing.
Oh, I get, yeah.
You know, if you pick lots of things, it's going to be trouble.
I get that shiny ball syndrome very much. Shiny red ball. And everything looks cool. Oh, yeah, I want to buy one. Oh, I want to buy a house. No, I want to buy a condo. Oh, no, I just manage some other people's stuff. It's just like...
Yeah, you know, that's interesting. I have a client I'm working with right now, and there's just so many options. Do I get a duplex? Does he flip a house? Does he live there? And I just said to him, okay, let's do this because we're not finding anything, and we'll keep going back and forth with what you want. You're not getting your bids on something. So offers accepted. And so let's just focus on one thing for 2 weeks. And then we did that, and then all of a sudden we switched again. And I'm just like, I think we're not finding what we want because I don't think he knows what he wants. He's open to so many different things. And so I you know, it's hard to have that conversation with your clients to say, look, we really, 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 really need to focus. Let's pick one thing. Let's exhaust that one thing until we say, no, this is not what I want.
So you just gotta
know, and as a realtor, I'm kind of like a coach, you know, also. So I'm working for free kind of thing, you know? So it's like at some point, those are the clients that will work with my assistant as soon as she passes her real estate exam, because she needs the experience and they're new to investing and they need the experience. I went right out of the gate working with experienced investors. I had been trained by an investment team in real estate, so I had that experience. But I would say that working with a new investor is really challenging.
Yeah, exactly. So step one would be, you know, have a clear and I was going to say clear and present danger. Clear, a clear strategy. Yeah, a good strategy.
Insight. Yep.
Yeah, and so let's just go into the next one then. Let's go. Why not?
Okay,
you know,
sure.
There's no rules here. Step two.
Yeah, because the next one is this is top 5 tips to scale your biz in under 6 months is having the right mindset. Dun dun dun. Dun dun dun. Now, you can have a clear strategy with a crappy attitude. However, that's not the point. The point is to stay positive and, you know, make attitude adjustments as needed, but keep uplifting yourself and others along the way. And so, you know, I just think it's something where if it makes you a little scared, then that's okay. Again, we can just take those baby steps, make sure we're doing what we really want to be doing. We can adjust as we go, but we really have to stay positive.
So what are some ways that people could do that? You know, because like for example, over here on our end, me and Myka, my co-host, which ain't here today, but we do like a monthly a meetup, and we meet real cool people, and they tell us their stories, and you know we kind of help each other out, and that kind of helps us keep going. And even though you know, like you said, management can be a beatdown sometimes, but when you're like interacting with other people, that helps us. What are some tips and pointers you have to keep that head right?
Yeah, I think that's a great one, you know, involved in being around other uplifting people, but you can be in a meetup with people who are a downer. So you got to watch out. We have to be discerning about the types of people that we are going to be around, you know, just like imagine, would you rather hang out with Tony Robbins, or would you rather hang out with your best friend who's just going through a really hard time right now, who's every time you're with them, they're just devastated because they just broke up with their girlfriend? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a hard one, but it's real, because it's like you want to be a support to your friend, but you also need to take care of yourself. So at least when it comes to business, on business time, we need to, again, be, very rigorous and make sure that we have set aside our time for, exercise and our networking events. And when we're driving, we're making use of that either with some beautiful music that's uplifting and it's going to take us to a better place, or we're on phone calls with, I've heard people do your top 10 list. Make a call to one of your people that you want to be around or work with. I do podcasts with people I admire, and that's kind of one of the things that keeps me sane, and I love hearing their inspiration. And I think you guys are probably similar with that. You stay in the business, you have fun doing it, you stay within, stay in the Airbnb biz, you're in the know. And so I think it's really important. Eating right, all of the basic stuff, I guess they're very foundational to a healthy lifestyle. Healthy mindset is going to happen with a healthy lifestyle, but even with the healthy lifestyle, we're going to have our challenges. So, make sure to, what I do is meditate. I do a lot of, I have a couple of friends who are mentors as well, who I talk to continue getting into a positive mindset and figuring out the strategy to do that, which, as you just said, was how do you do that? It's not focusing on negative things, breathing, it's not dwelling on things. If you have a lot of free time, start to fill that with other things. Don't watch a lot of TV because that's negative programming. So, there's once we start to make the shift to the healthier things in our life, one more walk, again, breathe deeper and slow down when we need to. These things are going to really affect us at a high level. I think they're high vibrational ways of living. And I think this is probably the best tip that I have for staying positive, and it's put your big boy pants on, or put your big girl pants on. And it's like, we need to grow up. We need to say, it's okay. You can do this. And that was the other thing I wanted to mention about this one was, and don't be afraid. Life gets ugly sometimes, so it's okay. We don't have to judge it bad. I think when we judge things bad, that can get us into a negative mindset. But if we just don't judge it bad, then we just, that happened, okay, I'm venting, and I move on. I don't hold grudges. And I'm not afraid to get my hands dirty, so I can, if, like with Airbnb management, I'm the one that will go over and fix the toilet if nobody else is around to do it. I know how to do that. I know how to do a lot of things, and I've been training my assistant with that. I just gave her a pocket knife for for graduating real estate school, because I was like, you're gonna need this, girl. You know how many boxes we open. We gotta DIY it and stay positive while we do it. So
while you were saying all that, stay positive, don't dwell on things, and you were just going on your rant. No, but you had this like this real soothing voice, and it's like, man, I felt like I was like on like a therapist was talking to me, and it's like, wow, everything's gonna be okay. You have that vibe to you. I think that makes
well, I appreciate
no, for real,
that.
and I think that's part of it. Like part of being a good I'll say you can be a coach. You coach people, you help people, right? I think that's part of it, is you have a real soothing presence, and it like, I'm like, wow, I mean, I could imagine myself going to you, this freaking Airbnb people are pissing me off, and the blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you can just calm down, just chill out. And,
thanks,
and
Steven. I think you just got me on a good day.
Now help me fix this toilet over here.
Right? No, well, when it comes to those things, I'm pretty calm. But yeah, when you get a call from the neighbor that the Airbnb house is broken into, I've learned to stay calm. We don't know what's going on. Stay calm, and the police will help, and we can get through this. And it's just got to be done. And yay! And when I did show up at the house, and the door had just pushed open again, it wasn't really. Nobody had broken in. So I was like, see what happens when we're calm.
I bet that, I'm just guessing here, but I bet your girlfriends, you're their like go-to whenever there's like a breakup going on.
I don't know if that's a good thing, but
that's a great thing.
You can get into a lot of trouble with your opinion. Okay. If there's one thing I've learned, is that I no longer give advice to my girlfriends about their partners. I just don't do it. I don't get involved with that. If it's about them and what they can do for themselves, that's different. But honestly, I have seen my relationships kind of go south because I gave some input. They wanted it. They were vulnerable. I gave it. And it might have been sound advice, but they're not in a place to be able to hear it. So it's just one of my stay positive. That's all.
Wow. Okay. Let's bring it back on the rails
follow
here.
my own advice, but you really do. Even when other people are going through the shit. Oh, can I say that?
Yeah, we can say that.
Even when people are going through the shitter, we all have to stay positive for them and for ourselves, because someone needs to hold the space.
Boom. Nailed it. All right. Tip number 3. Drum roll, please.
Dun, dun, dun. This one I really like. This one for scaling your business, because you need a funnel. Okay? It's a really, really important thing that I learned from trying to do a lot of webinars. And those webinars did not work for me. However, once I got my real estate license and started doing real estate deals, I realized that I really don't need my own funnel, because real estate is the funnel. That is how I bring in money. Now, Airbnb, the app, is also another funnel. It's a money-making funnel. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if you're you need your funnel. So for those people out there who, if you buy a piece of property, that has the potential to be a cash flowing asset. So once we get the property, once we get it going, then it can generate income, and that creates a stream, a funnel for the money to come through. If we're using Airbnb, the money can come through our house to us. If we are going to be managing other people's Airbnb properties, then we still need other people's real estate assets. So whatever the model is, however you're going to do this with anything, really, this applies to anything, even with coaching, we need a funnel. And I tell my other friend who's kind of a spiritual mentor, I'm like, you got to get your church, girl, get your church together, because we all know that a church, a virtual, a place, like if you have an actual location, a physical location for people to convene, then they will. And that to me is a funnel. Now, maybe that you could say that's a real estate funnel or something that's coming through the property. But I think ultimately what we're saying is you could do that through, a technology company, or a program, or if that was like, for example, HOSTFULLY or Smart B&B, they have apps that bring in money through that, even though some of them are free services on there. They have a way to bring in money through a service. So the same goes for funnel. We need our funnel. So once you've decided on your main funnel, which if it's buying houses or using Airbnb, which in this case it is, then we also need another funnel such as a blog, a website to help connect us, or social media to help connect us to receive business. So yeah, like for me, my blog and my podcast help bring people in off the web to me, and I have a way to capture them and talk to them through the app on my website and the message chat, and they can send me emails or reach out to me. I'm accessible to them, so I'm and I have I can offer coaching, or I can be their realtor, or Airbnb realtor in this case.
Okay.
So
well,
there's different ways to bring it in. Mm-hmm.
Let me expand on that real quick. You corrected yourself, said Airbnb realtor. So what is the difference between a regular realtor and an Airbnb realtor?
Sure. Well, I sometimes work with people who have absolutely no interest in Airbnb, and so I have buyers and sellers that I work with as well. So I'm still a realtor in the realist sense. I just have a niche in the market that I call myself an Airbnb realtor.
That's cool. So like, okay, an Airbnb realtor, just so you know, Airbnb realtor, I mean that I am, I work with Airbnb investors or investors who want me to then turn around and Airbnb their property or help them Airbnb it. Okay, so you'll find one that has the most Airbnb potential then.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was wondering too, because I have a realtor. I have 3 houses myself. The first one I have is a long-term renter, still there, been there a couple years. They're paying every month, so whatever, cruise control. The second house I'm doing the Airbnb out of, and that's what I was asking, and when I was looking for the second house, in particular, I told the realtor dude, and he's a real cool guy. He does investing, and he's owned like 100 different houses and sold, bought, flipped, buy and holds. So he's old school. He's been there, done that. And so I was asking when I was looking for the second house, I was like, oh man, will this one make a good, like an Airbnb? You think it's over in this? He's like, man, you kids with what is this Airbnb? I have another client asking me will this be a good Airbnb? I don't even know what that means. Just buy it, live in it for a year.
He is not an Airbnb realtor.
but he's coming around. Can boon me. Yeah. I was giving mad props. He's a good dude. But he actually bought a duplex in Hearst where my other house is, and he's planning on Airbnb-ing it because he heard me and Myka's show, and he knows me and Myka pretty good. So he's coming around to, I wonder if I can make more doing Airbnb. But at first he was like, why y'all keep bringing up Airbnb? Just rent it like a regular rental.
Yeah, I definitely hear that.
So that's cool. I mean, you really you stand out by saying that you're an Airbnb realtor. And if I was going to be a realtor, that's what I would definitely put that as a badge of honor.
Yeah.
And so, and let me ask you about funnel real quick again, if you don't mind me interrupting. Yeah. Okay, and when I was thinking about what came to my head, and it's been in my mind a little bit. Airbnb is cool because, like, one of the cool things, and I've seen older people. The older generation, at home by themselves, kids left, blah, 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 hardly visit. And they have this big old house, and some of them started doing Airbnb. And I thought, that's the coolest thing. If I could talk to a few senior citizens and just, and maybe get their opinions, tell them what it is, tell them what it's about, and maybe they could start doing it out of their place, and I could run it for them. And, it's a win-win situation. And the funnel would be like, going to every old person's house and asking them if they wanted an Airbnb, I guess, until I catch one in my way.
Well, that would be, I would say that would be your niche, working with the elders. That would be more your niche.
Old B&B? Old B&B?
Yeah, old school B&B. That would be more of your strategy, but your funnel would then be to, you're obviously going to work with, if you're a realtor or whatever, but if you're going to do real estate with these guys, but if you're just going to manage their properties, you would then maybe do some social media targeted towards older people, or a blog, or go to networking events with the older You know what I'm saying? So
Like
you need a way to connect yourself to the people.
Like a telegraph or a passenger or messenger pigeon or something like that.
Yeah, the funnel means that you've already got you know what you're going to do, and now you need to start to bring in the clients, bring in the business to bring the money down your funnel. Okay, I just want people to kind of envision it like, okay, this has movement to it. So by the time we know what we're going to do and we've got the good mindset, we say, okay, now we just need to figure out ways to bring in business. Exactly. And the other thing I wanted to say to this is, for some of those people out there that are just thinking, I just want to co-host, Airbnb has the co-host option now. So, I put myself on there for indie, and I get frequently asked as I've gotten some clients, is certain people will say, hey, can you host for so-and-so? And then I'll ask them a few pre-qualification questions to see if I want to list their space, and then we'll go from there. So that would be one of my ways. That would be one of the things on step 3.
Awesome.
So I'm bringing in clients through this funnel. The other thing I wanted to say is make sure, guys, that everybody has a stable income to fall back on, prior to trying to scale your business, because we really need that stability first. And once we're there, then we can scale.
Okay. And what's a good amount of stability? A good dollar amount, I guess.
There's no dollar amount. You can do this on whatever it is, but stable just means you're able to save a little bit each month. You're at the point where you're saving whatever, $10, $20, $200, $2,000 a month, and you're paying your bills. Okay, that's stable to me. So just not struggling. Some people can pay their bills and still be struggling, but I'm just saying, like, just have some foundation. If you have a job, great. If you don't have any job, any house, and you're just starting to, don't scale your business. Just work on one. That's all I mean.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't worry about this particular. You can apply these tips, but to your life, but I don't think you need to be scaling anything quite yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. So get your shit straight and then move on with it.
Yeah, maybe that should have been 0.5.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to move on to number 4 here, if you don't mind.
Okay, go over the first 3 real quick, just like the titles, and then number 5. Number 4.
Yeah, top 5 tips to scale your Airbnb business in under 6 months. We start with strategy and clear approach. Number 2 is mindset. Number 3 is have your funnel and all of the little tools that go into your funnel. Blog, website, Airbnb app. And number 4 is tools and team. So to help you, these are all going to help you automate and manage and maintain your business. These are things that are going to make your life much, much easier when you start scaling. So I have a friend who scales, but he doesn't figure out tools and systems to help him scale while he's scaling. And now I see him suffering sometimes, and I don't want that, but, I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I'm a systems person, and I have to have it. I'm very organized and detail oriented. And so to me, to be scrambling and running around is stressful, and I don't like it. And so for me to have Smart B&B and Turnover B&B running my cleaners and running my communications it's basically having 2 assistants.
Oh,
so, yeah. Plus I have another assistant, and she's young and she's just starting out. And so, she'll do, I'm mentoring her right now. We're not paying her the big bucks. She gets paid for doing her turnovers, cleanings, but she's ambitious and she wants to learn this information. So we can find people like that out there where we can pay them in one way, but they're learning the information first before they're a large expense to the company.
That's a damn good idea.
Yeah.
Just thought I'd say that.
I can't believe I thought of it.
Whatever. You got the power within, Rach. Come on.
You got the power for the people. Yeah. Cool. So everyone does, really.
Breaking into song. You know, our friends.
I feel like that was a cereal commercial or a cartoon or something. You got this? I don't know. Anyway,
it could be, yeah.
Maybe a cleaners. It was like a cleaning company. But anyway, a commercial. All right, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say real quick. Our friends Kim and Ann. They've been on the show a couple times. Awesome girls, and they're out of Indy too. So I'm gonna definitely give you their information. They're awesome.
Yeah, because we're having a huge carb day party for the Indy 500 on May 25th, and so they need to come.
Exactly. I mean, they are killing it in the Airbnb world. So I'll send you their info though. I mean, because they're down for the meetups and stuff like that. I know you do that meetups, right?
Yeah, this is an Airbnb. This is a carb day Airbnb host meetup, so it'll be fun. It's at the track. I mean, it's like 2 blocks from the track.
Oh, badass! I've always wanted to go. Vroom, vroom. And also I want to touch on it real quick. The Turnover B&B and Smart B&B. Tell me what those do, because I just signed up for Turnover B&B and I haven't started using it yet, actually.
Yeah, and I just did podcasts with those. So I
listened to it. It was good.
Yeah, thank you. It was so great to have them on there because they have just saved my life. Smart B&B is a guy out of Europe, and it's basically all automating the communication. It's not perfect, I still do like little follow-ups and stuff, but man, it's great. Some days you just get a lot of weird questions or just a lot of chit-chat, and they just, so you have to kind of respond, but for most of it, I can just observe it, and the response goes out, and when a person books or inquires, or if they want early check-in, it just automatically sends them an email. It's fabulous.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And then Turnover B&B.
Turnover B&B automates your cleaners. It's an app for them to check in, get notifications when they have cleanings, that they have a cleaning coming up the next day. They can use the app to check in, and then they're starting the clean, and then they can click that they're done with it. Then it'll send you that, and it'll automatically pay them if you want. And so, yeah, it's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's great.
And do they have it in Spanish too?
No lo sé.
No,
sé.
No sabes.
Lo siento, hombre.
Because I'm just saying, a lot of cleaners around here, Mexicanas and,
No, that's a good
Latinas. So if they made it in Spanish, it'd be great. It'd be very helpful.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
But so yeah, I just got on there and I'm gonna try it out. And actually, my wife does my turnovers for me, which is really helpful. Mm-hmm. She volunteered for it because I was gonna make my wife clean the Airbnb, but she saw that I was gonna pay somebody to do it. She's like, "Oh, are you gonna pay somebody? Well, I can do it if you're gonna give me the money." I was like, "Okay, keep the money in house, as much as we can."
Well, that's the thing is when, back to number one, when you decide you want a business, you can write that in there or not. You can say, I don't want to be cleaning. And then you can make sure that you don't do the cleanings. Or sometimes you could do some of them, but then at least you have someone as backup.
I did one once, and when my wife was out of town with the baby in Mexico, and I'll never do one again. I was like, how the hell did she get this knocked out in 3 hours? So
3 hours? How big is it? How big is the house?
It's a 3-bedroom house, about 1,800 square feet, and almost a 4-bedroom because I put some day beds in other spots. But she does it with a baby there, a needy little baby. And so I was doing it by myself, and I was trying to get oh man, it was a mess. I was like, I barely got done by 3 o'clock. And after that, I changed the check-in time to 4 p.m. actually, to give her an extra hour if she needs it. And so it's been great. I mean, we've still been booked up. No one's really.
Well, at least you're thorough, it sounds like. My cleaner, she does it. She'll do a 4-bedroom with someone else in an hour. She's just really efficient, though. And we don't have a lot of stuff, so we keep it pretty minimal.
That's good. And I guess you have sheets that she uses, she just switches them out and boom, boom, boom.
Why, yes, we do.
That's a great idea.
But that's a different, well, she still does the laundry, but that's a different podcast.
Exactly. Okay. Tools and team. All right. So we're moving along here. Did you want to go to number 5, or do you want to touch more on tools and team?
Let's see. No, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Good tools, good team. Numero 5, number 5.
Numero 5.
The top 5 tips to scale your Airbnb business in under 6 months is, drumroll please. Thank you. Persistence.
Tink.
Persistence. I think it's persistence. I think you just keep doing it. Yeah, no, it was no
You
joke.
built it all the way up and you said, persistence.
Persistence. Persistence. There's no way you can't shout that. It's like, it's persistence. You keep doing it. You keep until, you know how long I've been doing my thing, just years and years and years of emerging. And, it's finally dialing in, I feel like, after so many years. So persistence, don't give up at the first sign of adversity. I know you can do this. I know anyone can do this. I have people that come back to me later and say, oh, thanks for that tip. I decided to do that myself. They had no intention of doing Airbnb or anything, and then they just kind of shifted and had no idea they could do it. And then next thing you know, they're just like, yeah, they got a couple properties. They're doing Airbnb. It's great. It's happening. And I got other people who are, having to wait a year or two before they actually even buy the house. And they're just, it's a slow process, but everybody can do it. And yeah, I think don't give up.
And yeah, don't give up. And I automatically thought of this too. There's going to be a lot of naysayers, right? A lot of people saying that you can't do it, that you're wasting your time. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Airbnb? Yeah. What about if an axe murderer goes and rents your place? You get the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now this is your, because I work, I brought it up on the show before, but I work at this, in a job environment, which is, a lot of negativity going on there. And so that kind of brings me down, but I put my headphones on, I listen to the positive podcasts and stuff like that, hear the Tony Robbins stuff, and it helps me get through it. But like I hesitate to even tell my goals or dreams, in front of people like that are real negative, because automatically they start, I don't know, it's the crabs in the bucket, one tries to crawl out and the other one's pulling back down, it's automatically like that.
Yeah, well, remember, you got to go back to the number 3 and 2. The mindset. You got to be around those positive people, and you got to.
So I should just quit my job, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that's what you were referring to.
Oh.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, I mean, quit your job, Steven. If you don't like it. No, I'm not giving you advice. I'm just saying that, you're not doing anyone any favors by being miserable, okay? That's not what you're supposed to be doing on this planet. So why be miserable when there's something else better for you out there? I'm sure you've thought of your exit strategy, so.
Oh yeah. See, I work at an airline, so I get flight benefits, and that helps. I get to fly around the world for free, and
nice.
And so I only have 3 more years left that I can lock in. I can lock in those flight benefits for life. So I can see the light.
Well, I think it's very courageous to have a goal like that. So. And then I got to go here in a second and take the little puppy for a walk. She's just wanting it so bad, aren't you? And yeah, and then I think it's very admirable to have that type of goal. But I think that's
great.
Not everybody can do that. Not everybody can stick with it like that. So I think that's good. Very admirable of you. It's a good goal.
Yeah, thank you. And so you're full time.
And talk about persistence. I mean, that's persistence.
That's freaking persistence right there. So you're full time agent, and now you're coaching people, getting them on their Airbnb journey, and you're doing something you love. And I mean, what else is better than that, right?
Correct. but I just want to say, thank you, very much for holding space for me to give you all the wonderful information that I have in my brain, because I feel very honored to be speaking with you and on your podcast. And yeah, thanks so much.
Oh, the honor is on this side, right here, over here. And okay, where can folks find you? Real quick, just tell them where they can find you.
Sure. So I am at rentalpreneur.com, and that is like rental and entrepreneur combined into one word, and it's rentalpreneur.com. And they can also tune into my podcast at the Airbnb Entrepreneur on SoundCloud and iTunes as well. So, yeah.
Awesome. Now, real quick, I just got to point something out. Entrepreneur is entrepreneur is like the hardest word in the history of trying to spell a word right, and then you went ahead and added another word to it. So, just mad props.
Yeah, I know. That's why. Trust me, there's been naysayers. They're like, Rentalpreneur is not going to be the name of your company later. And I'm like, wah. And then, and now I see all these different things that are like, I have a bunch of I've seen it on the web, and I've seen it on Facebook ads and stuff, and they all have their own preneur, something preneur. So I'm kind of like, see, you did it. And then, so who knows?
You were the original preneur, okay?
I was the original, and I did have a talk with Scott Shafford about it, because he, from Air DNA, and I said, dude, I got to tell you, I stole your name, Rentalpreneur. It was available, the .com, and he's like, how'd you get that? And I was like, well, because he used it. He's used that word Rentalpreneur first, but he never he went the different route. So when he moved to Denver, I had a little talk with him a couple times, and I was like, yeah, I took that word. I'm sorry. And he's like, it's cool. I'm glad you got it. So he's a cool guy.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, Rachel, for hopping on Live, Let, Thrive. And go seek her out. She's a great coach, great therapist. If you're going through a breakup, hit her up. And yeah, she's a great gal, and she's kicking butt at Airbnb and real estate and all that in Indy. So thank you very much, Rach.
Thanks so much. So much.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. And that was Rachel Prince from rentalpreneur.com. Great guest. And we're glad to have her. Yeah, hit her up, send her a message. She'll holler back at you right away. And this is a good show, some good tips, good pointers. I hope you all had a pen out or writing them down. And thank you for listening to Live, Let, Thrive, and thank you for spreading the word. We keep growing and growing like crazy. And hopefully Myka can be back next week, and we'll have another great show for y'all. So hit us up, liveletthrive.com, liveletthrive@gmail.com. And all the other spots, phone number, all that stuff. Hit me up at my cell phone if you want. It's going to be on the show notes. So, yeah, check out the show notes. Check out the show. Spread the word. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Live, Let, Thrive. Be sure to tune in next week for all the latest in the world of Airbnb and all that entails. Bye-bye.